What up, YouTube? Let's hear. Thanks again for visiting the channel. As always, I appreciate it. So what do I got for you today? Today we are going to do a quick review on the Civivi Elementum button lock. Civivi Elementum is a pretty popular knife in the knife community these days. The first one that came out was a regular flipper, which is a little bit smaller. And then they came out, I think maybe a year or two later with the button lock, which ended up being a little bit bigger, which I think was good for a lot of people. I definitely appreciated that. Just real quick, I want to give a quick appreciation to somebody, an acquaintance of mine. So it's knife noob, knife underscore noob. On Instagram. Please, guys, go give him a look. He's got a really awesome knife collection, and he was kind enough to send over some of his knives for me to review, just give me a little bit more content. So again, that's knife underscore noob on Instagram. Please go give him a look. It's KNIFE underscore NEWB. Again, he has a really fantastic knife collection, a lot cooler stuff than I have, that's for sure. We're going to start off with some size comparisons here. Get this guy opened up. The Civivi Elementum button lock. When you compare it to the Rat 1, which is exactly 7.5 inches, and the Rat 2, which comes in exactly at 7 inches, you can see that the Civivi Elementum is a little bit shorter than the Rat 1, definitely longer than the Rat 2. Excuse me. The AD20S, which is exactly, looks like it's right between 8.25 and 8.5 inches. And the AD20.5, this guy comes in exactly 7.5 inches. Again, a little bit shorter than the AD20S, a little bit longer than the AD20.5. And I got a couple of Civivis here to compare it with. The Civivi Mastodon. This guy comes in exactly 9 inches. And the Civivi Mini Mastodon, this guy comes in exactly 7.25. All right, I think that's pretty good for size comparisons. Again, excuse me. So the Civivi Elementum comes in exactly 8 inches. It has a drop point blade, which is made of 20 CV steel, which is really, really cool. It's got a little it's got a little fuller here, which I'm not sure why that's there. You can't use it to open or close the knife at all, but that's okay. To each their own. It's got a little bit of jimping right here on the top of the thumb ramp, which works really well to give you a little bit extra control on the knife when you have a full 4-finger grip on it. It does have, I believe these are titanium scales. Yeah, I think that's just sticking to the steel liners on the inside, so that's pretty nice. It does have skeletonized steel liners on the inside. I don't know if I can show you those or not. See if I can get that to focus. Come on, focus. I have to get a better camera. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, I think you can see the skeletonization in there. Good. And it also has a small backspacer back here with a pin, which functions as the lanyard area. It's got a stamped pocket clip back here with some holes in it, which is pretty standard for Civivi. Excuse me. Which I believe this is made out of steel. Oh no, that's made out of titanium, which is pretty awesome. Maybe that's an aftermarket clip that he put on there. I'm not positive about that. As far as hardware is concerned, let me see here. So I carry the standard Civivi bits that everybody in the knife community uses today. You can get these on Amazon. and they are very, very affordable. I'm sure this is a T8. Let me check that out. So the pivot is definitely a T8, and the body screws, those are all T8s as well. Yeah, so that's awesome. At least we don't have any T6 screws to worry about. I'm sure these pocket screws are T6 bits, though. Mm-hmm. Oh, those might actually be T8s. Hold on, let me double check. I don't want to steer you guys wrong. No, those are definitely T6. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so let's see, carry profile on these guys. All right, so compared to the Spyderco PM2, it's definitely a little bit shorter, and you don't have to worry about quite as much of the height on the blade as this guy does. And the thickness here, it looks like the Elementum is a little bit thinner than the Paramilitary 2. Now, guys, just before anybody says anything, I'm not trying to copy anybody else's process here. It's just I want to show everybody all the information on this guy, and that's really the only way that I know how to do it. So if anybody has an issue with that, just let me know, and I'll try to come up with a different way to show people that stuff without looking like I'm ripping off somebody else's style. So this is let me see here. Let's get the the blade stock thickness. This is a pretty light knife, but I want to get the thickness before I... Okay, so it looks like this comes in at exactly 116 thousandths. And let's get the weight here. Okay, so that's zeroed out. Comes in at exactly 4.2 ounces. Again, 4.3. So pretty close. All right. So I think that's everything that I can show you on this guy, but I carried it around for quite a while. I did use it for some food prep, normal everyday stuff, cutting packages, cutting tape, string, stuff like that. It's very comfortable in the hand. It doesn't have a forward finger choil, but you can kind of grip up on it a little bit. And the jimping on the spine of the blade definitely helps quite a bit for control if you need it. I don't know that I would use this for much of anything, more aggressive than that. It's a sturdy knife. There's no play at all in the blade. It's got a swedge that carries out about 75% of the blade, which gives it some heft up at the tip here, and it's got a pretty thick tip on there. But I definitely wouldn't do any prying with this or anything like that. Don't ever use your knife for prying. Everybody should know that, but not everybody does, unfortunately. It comes to a pretty thin edge, so it's good for slicing. Definitely. This is a pretty nice knife. The only thing I don't like about this guy is the fact that you have to use the button lock to open and close it. I kind of wish they would have had some thumb studs on here, but I know that probably would have gotten in the way of the cutting edge a little bit, but that doesn't seem to be a problem for some other knives. Other than that, this is a great knife. It's a good size, great for EDC. It's just the only knife that I've ever seen that you have to use the button lock for, so that's a little bit of a drawback for me, but to each their own. A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people like this knife. It's one of the most popular knives in the knife community right now. Everybody seems to like it a lot. And especially with these premium materials on here, it definitely increases the draw to it. It's got the titanium and the 20 CV blade steel. So I think that's going to be everything for today, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. This is definitely a fidgety knife. Once you get used to it, opening and closing with the button lock, it is a lot of fun. You just obviously have to get used to it, which I haven't done yet, but I'm working on it. But anyway, yeah, I think that's everything for this guy. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment, like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care of yourselves. Everybody have a great day.